going back to it, I got heavily into trying to understand the afterlife, what happens to us after we pass. My spirituality totally changed. I was raised Catholic. I was baptized, I was confirmed, did those sacraments. I was raised that way. But you go through something like this and it really makes you question all of that. And I wasn't really that devout of a Catholic to begin with. I was, again, definitely the girl in her class that was like, I don't get how he did that though. And like, what do you mean? How do you know though that he did all these things? And especially going through this and losing Mike, it just makes you question the existence of God even more. And like, if there is one, then why did he take him away from me? And damn, God's a dick. I just wanted to learn everything about like our souls after we pass to try to help me understand, I guess, where Mike was now and what he might be experiencing. And I just wanted to know all the things. And this is going to sound so weird to some people, but I'm totally into all this stuff because I do believe our souls carry on after we pass. And I feel like the books that helped me the most when Michael passed weren't the ones about grief and how to deal with grief. It was the ones understanding death and what happens to us afterwards and the energies really of the universe. And the two books, honestly, that helped me the most were these ones. And you can find them at Indigo or Chapters. That's where I got these. I'm going to lose so many of you at this point. It's called You Are a Medium by Sherry Dillard. I bought this not because I think I'm a medium, okay? There are other people that do that, and yes, I believe in mediums. I do believe there's scam artists out there, but I really do believe that mediums are, like, real. This was just more so to help me, because in this book she talks about the afterlife, and she talks about souls that she has spoken to that either passed from suicide or sickness or accidents, and just, like, where they're at now. And I really enjoyed it, and I feel like it really helped me understand death and what happens to our souls, because that's what I really wanted to understand after Michael passed, because he passed so suddenly and unexpectedly. It's just a complete shock to your system, and I just want to know all the things. So that's where my research led me. And then Crystal Bible, I don't even know if I bought this for myself or somebody. I can't even remember anymore. Especially going through this too, I started believing in crystals that are all right here. We got some rose quartz, we got some amethyst, we've got some labradorite, we've got some larimar, and then we've got some atlantisite. Because I also got into crystal jewelry making for 6 months after I quit one of my last serving jobs. I got into that, and it was called the Atlantean Apothecary. Because in all my searching around about spiritual stuff in the universe, I found out that in the lost city of Atlantis, they used to use crystals to help energize themselves and things. And again, I think I've lost most of you at this point talking about that, but I don't care because this is just who I am now. But all these little tabs here, and I would highlight a lot of the pages because it helped me understand different crystals and how they could help you. And I'm lost all of you already. If you're still here though, I'm sorry. I totally kind of believe in it. I wouldn't have started my jewelry company if I didn't. Because if somebody bought something with like an amethyst in it or kyanite or whatever, I would give them like a little slip of paper describing to them like the attributes of that crystal and how it could help them. And that's another thing I wanted to know in my grief, were just like things that could help me deal with it and things that could help me process the pain or lessen the pain a bit. Like, that's all you really want when you're grieving. You just want all the pain to go away. That's why I talked about being really careful with numbing yourself, because it can get you in a really bad spot. I don't know that from personal experience. I just know I could have really went there with that. And I didn't want to. It wasn't going to be beneficial to me, and the hangovers were going to get horrible at the very least. So I just wanted to learn about all the death things. Because especially like seeing signs and stuff like that, that might be something that you've experienced as well, is like certain things that when they happen, they remind you of the person that you lost, and you take it as a sign from them that they're still around and they're still sending you love, and that they haven't forgotten about you either. And I think we need all that. I think those are the things that really help too in our grief, feeling those things. I remember when I would hear certain songs on the radio, it'd make me think of Mike, or if I found like coins in random places, that would be another thing. And dreams, going back to the whole dreaming thing too, like your dreams get so wonky after you lose somebody, and sometimes you have dreams about the person that you lost. The way my subconscious mind was trying to process the things that were happening, I would have dreams a lot about how he like broke up with me and was really mad at me and didn't want to talk to me. So that's why he was gone in my dream. And like when I would wake up, I would sometimes believe those dreams. I had them quite frequently, but I would wake up and think, oh God, okay, so he didn't die. He's just, oh my God, we just broke up. Okay, cool. I gotta find him. I'm gonna call him right now, and we gotta sort this out. It's not the case. That was just my subconscious mind trying to ease the pain a little bit. Sometimes though, when he was in my dreams, it felt like a visitation. It felt like he was there hugging me or kissing me or putting his hands on my face or just staring at each other, and it just felt completely real. And so I really do believe, again, from reading all this stuff and trying to understand all the death things from the spiritual sense, I believe that they come through to you in your dreams. And those would be the best dreams, because I get to see him again. Human mind can be a scary place, but also grieving, you feel everything, every emotion you feel, and on the entire like scale, like from 1 to 10, you feel every emotion at every level, like all of the time. I don't understand how I haven't cracked into a million pieces at this point. I really have no idea. Probably because I do the things that I just told you I was doing. So yeah. So when I say in my videos, like, time will heal all wounds, but you have to put the work in, that's what the work looks like. It's recognizing that you are dealing with something, and yes, some days it looks like you laying in bed doing nothing, which is doing something. And other days it looks like you reading all the books, and other days it looks like you painting, and other days it looks like you doing yoga or meditating or whatever. You really just have to figure out what works for you. I almost feel like sometimes losing somebody super close to you is the universe's way of trying to reset you in a way. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe you feel that or can understand that in some way. Because I think too, you also recognize how short life is, and how a lot of us do things every single day that we don't want to do at all, that we feel obligated to do. I feel like I've adopted the attitude, especially after Michael passed, where it's just like, because I didn't have a lot of energy, where it's just like, I don't want to do that thing. I'm not going to this event. I'm not going to go hang out with this group today. I'm just going to do what I want to do because I have no more time to do the things that I don't want to do anymore. And I don't want to be forced into anything, and I don't want to have to be fake about anything. I just don't want to do things anymore that I don't want to do. What kind of life is that? I don't know, but I don't want to live it anymore. So get back to you, figure out what works for you, get back to your interests, discover new ones. Maybe that's something else throughout this grieving process. That's something that you can discover, things that you actually enjoy doing. Like I said, for me, it was yoga and like meditation. What? Who would have thought? Who would have thought I'd get into this like crazy jewelry making with crystals? I didn't, but here I am. I hope I've given you guys some ways to help deal with your own grief. There's so many ways that you can cope with your grief. So these might not be things that you relate to. Maybe they are. And maybe you've discovered some ways yourself that have totally helped you deal with your grief. And if that's the case, like, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear how some of you developed your own ways of coping, because other people could be reading it as well that haven't tried maybe your method yet, and it could work for them. So let's all just try to help each other, and in the comments below, write something that you do that helps you deal with your grief. Cool. I think that'd be really cool if we get responses from that. Okay. Alright guys, that's it for this week's video. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, like this video if you've liked it, leave a comment. I put videos out every week, Wednesdays or Thursdays, kind of depends. But regardless, I'll see you guys next week. Love ya. Bye.